Komodo's popularity is accelerating faster than a drift dive in the shotgun. But do you really need to do a liveaboard to experience the best of the park? Or are day trips the smartest way to go? So in this video, we're breaking down the real costs, the commute times, and the dive sites you'll miss if you choose wrong. If you're new to our channel, I'm Cassie and I've taught diving all over the world for the past 8 years. And now Aaron and I use our combined underwater experience to create vlogs and guides all about dive travel. So let's talk about Komodo. Round one, the commute factor. First, let's break down the location and the logistics of diving here. Labuan Bajo is a harbour town that sits on the west of Flores. And this is your gateway to the Komodo National Park. But what most people don't realise is that even in Labuan Bajo, you're still a long way from the edge of the park itself. So, if you're planning on doing day trips, there's a few things you'll want to know before you book. For a typical 3-dive day trip, most operators will use large, slow boats. It's an early start. You'll meet at the dive centre at around 6:30 a.m. and you'll get to the closest sites within the park in around 90 minutes. But to get to some of Komodo's wildest sites in the north of the park can take up to 3 hours. Generally, day trips don't access the South Komodo dive sites simply because it's too far. So, day trippers will miss out on the famous cold water critters and soft corals of the southern waters. The days can be long, especially if you're travelling to the more northern sites. Most of the time, you'll be back on land at around 4 p.m. But we have been on day trips that didn't get back to Labuan Bajo until after 6 p.m. That's a huge day on the boat. So, if you plan on doing consecutive days of diving, it can get exhausting. Liveaboard trips, on the other hand, have access to the entire park. Depending on the time of year and the itinerary, you can see all 3 areas of Komodo in a single trip. You'll wake up every day inside the incredible national park with no commute. You'll roll out of bed and into the water. So, our clear winner for the commute factor is the liveaboard. Round 2, the diving experience. Komodo is famous for wild currents. But what most people don't realise is that the secret to getting the most out of the dives is the timing. There are only a couple of small windows each day where the current is optimal for the dive site. And this is where liveaboards shine once again. You have the flexibility to jump in when the current is just right. It's not quite a deal breaker for the central sites, but for the best sites in the north, timing is crucial. On day trips, guides will check the current when the boat arrives, but this can be very hit and miss. We've had days where we've travelled all the way to the north of Komodo only to have to switch the dive sites due to the current. Then there's the issue of crowds. Since they're more flexible with sites and timings, liveaboards will give you the best chance of hitting dive sites when they're less crowded. Sites like Batu Bolong can get super crowded and chaotic with day boats. On day trips, you'll have a better chance if you're able to go by speedboat. But on a liveaboard, you can hit dive sites first thing in the morning before the day boats have even left Labuan Bajo. So, if you want to guarantee optimal timing for the dive sites and experience Komodo's incredible diving at its very best, we hand this one to liveaboards once again. Round 3, comfort and lifestyle. Next, let's talk about comfort and your time spent between the dives. Because a full week spent on a boat with non-stop diving is not everybody's cup of tea. When we first visited back in 2018, Labuan Bajo was in its very first stages of development. But even back then, we loved the fantastic food options and the nightlife along the main strip. Fast forward to 2026 and it's become a bustling hub for divers from all over the world. You can find incredible international food, sunset bars and coffee shops. So, if you want to skip a day of diving, sleep in, and get a massage, you can. This is totally different from the eat, sleep, dive, repeat experience of a liveaboard. The liveaboards are not short of luxurious options when it comes to accommodation and food, depending on your budget. But some people find it exhausting and prefer to have breaks between diving days. So when it comes to comfort and lifestyle, we hand this one to day trips. For round 4, let's address the real elephant in the room. What's it going to cost? Because while day trips may seem like the cheapest option, there are a few crucial factors you'll need to understand before you make your decision. A typical 3-dive day trip from Labuan Bajo will set you back up to 3 million Indonesian rupiah, so roughly between 140 to 180 US dollars. And you'll need to factor in an additional 300,000 rupiah national park fee for each day that you dive. As we mentioned earlier, Komodo is big, so you'll want to do more than just one day of diving if you want to experience it in its full glory. And remember that your accommodation and your evening meals aren't included in the cost. So those day trips can really add up. Comparing this to liveaboard prices, expect low budget options to cost around 160 per day with shared cabins and basic meals, with high-end luxury options all the way up to $700 plus. Mid-range options will fall between $300 to $500 a day with private cabins and AC. The winner here really depends on your personal budget and how much diving you want to do. But we give this one to liveaboards once again. We just consider them to be better value when you factor in the amount of dives you get without the need to worry about food or accommodation once you're on board. So, what's the verdict? Overall, and in case you hadn't guessed, we're a big fan of liveaboards over day trips in Komodo. Although you can get to most of the best dive sites on day trips, there is no comparing the experience of waking up in this stunning park every day and jumping into the dives before the day boats arrive. And when all the day boats leave, you'll still be there, enjoying sunsets and getting to experience the incredible night dives. Plus, you'll get the extra hikes, viewpoints and Komodo dragons all within your trip. But for us, the defining factor is the timing. Komodo is all about the currents. And the flexibility of liveaboard diving is where you'll get the chance to get onto those famous dive sites at the best times. This, combined with fewer crowds, it's a no-brainer. So, if you're an experienced diver that wants the full-on Komodo experience, 100% go for a liveaboard. You won't regret it. But that's not to say that the day trips don't have their advantages. If you're more of a casual diver and not quite up for those exhilarating currents, day trips might be better for you. Or if you're a backpacker on a budget and just want to experience Komodo's diving for a day and enjoy Labuan Bajo's post-dive nightlife, day trips are perfect for this. With so many islands, viewpoints and short hikes to experience, many people don't want to centre their entire Komodo trip just around diving. So if you're after a more flexible trip without being tied to a liveaboard schedule, day trips will be your best bet. We're excited to be heading back to Komodo again soon, so depending on when you're watching this, you can either find that on our channel or subscribe to stay tuned for those upcoming videos. In the meantime, you can watch this video right here, hit that like button and share this video with a scuba buddy. Don't forget to subscribe for more ocean travel experiences and guides for diverholics. We'll see you in the next one.